Ever fill up your gas tank, right, and wonder, how did this get here? Or even turning on the faucet, like, how did that water get here? We're talking pipelines today, the kind of like unsung heroes of how everything runs. But who keeps those pipelines going? That's where pipeline maintenance workers, I guess, come in. And I'm guessing it's not as simple as it sounds.
No, not at all. And these are the skilled folks that really make sure that these pipelines, which are often hidden, by the way, underground or like over vast distances, that they stay working. They're the ones making sure there are no leaks, they're battling corrosion, they're making sure that all that essential stuff gets to our homes and businesses.
Sounds like a huge responsibility. So in this deep dive, we're going to try to uncover what a pipeline maintenance worker really does. And I got to say, going through RoleCatcher, some of this stuff is really eye-opening.
Yeah, one of the things that really surprised me was how much technology is involved now. Like you might just think wrenches and hard hats, which, yeah, that's still part of it. But nowadays, pipeline maintenance workers are using, get this, drones. Drones with sensors to inspect, miles of pipeline, but from the air. High-tech solutions for a really old system.
Okay, that's way cooler than I imagined.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being handy. You got to be kind of techy too, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, RoleCatcher gave a really interesting kind of vivid picture of what a normal day looks like for a pipeline maintenance worker. What stood out to you?
It really shows that it is not a desk job. You are on site, a lot of times outside, dealing with everything. Routine inspections, emergency repairs. I mean, one minute you might be running diagnostics on some piece of equipment. The next minute you're like analyzing data from those sensors, making sure that there's no problems.
So brains and brawn. You need the technical skills, but you also need that problem solving, that on-the-fly thinking.
Absolutely, and we can't forget the safety part of it all. These workers are dealing with potentially really dangerous stuff, so they got to be on top of those safety protocols. It's not just fixing pipes, they're protecting the environment and the communities around those pipelines.
It's like they're guardians, almost. Okay, so demanding job, we got that. But what about the actual career path? What does that look like? RoleCatcher had some good info on that, too.
It seems like there's a lot of potential for growth. You can start in an entry-level position, helping out the more experienced workers, but as you learn and get more experience, you can move into leadership, managing people, running projects, even specializing in things like corrosion control or pipeline inspection.
So there's like a path upwards. This isn't a dead-end job. It's a real career. And I'm guessing those specialized skills probably mean you get paid pretty well, too.
You're right. These skills are in high demand, so the pay is usually pretty good. Plus, it's not just about the money. You're building skills that are, if anything, becoming more and more valuable as we rely on these pipelines.
So job security and good money, two big pros.
For sure. But like any job, there's always two sides to every coin. We got to look at the possible downsides before anyone jumps headfirst into this.
Okay, so we talked about the good stuff,
Yeah.
job security, the pay's not bad, you can move up. But we got to be honest, right?
Right.
What about the downsides? What did RoleCatcher say about that?
Well, remember we were talking about this not being some cushy office job.
Yeah.
You're outside a lot. And not always. Like nice weather,
Right.
rain, snow, even too hot sometimes.
Yeah.
It's demanding physically, for sure.
Yeah, not for someone who has to be inside all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just the weather, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
working on pipelines, that sounds kind of dangerous.
Oh, yeah. RoleCatcher's really clear about that, the safety aspect. You got to be on top of it. Workers have tons of training for handling the materials and everything, but it's just always there.
So you got to be careful. You're trading in that comfy chair for like steel-toed boots and a hard hat. And I'd imagine the hours too. Probably some long days, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even middle of the night calls.
For sure. Emergencies, they don't care if it's 9 to 5.
Right, right.
So, yeah, you might get called in no matter what time it is to fix a leak or something. Long hours sometimes. Got to be flexible.
So like you could have plans and then boom, got to go.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so that's the job itself, but RoleCatcher also mentioned all the learning involved. Sounds like you got to keep up with all the new stuff all the time.
All the time. Energy is changing so fast. There's always something new, some technology, new regulations. They're always updating safety stuff.
So how do you even keep up?
Well, RoleCatcher had some ideas. Conferences, going to those.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's where you hear about all the new stuff, right? Plus, you meet other people in the industry.
Right, yeah, networking and stuff.
Exactly, networking and joining like professional organizations. They have resources, they do trainings, all that.
So it's not enough to just like know what you know. You got to always be learning more.
You got it. So now that we've scared everyone off,
Or maybe got them excited.
that's true. How do you actually, get one of these jobs?
So you're ready to go. time to actually apply for the job. And RoleCatcher, I got to give it to them. They've got some good advice for this part. They have these like interview guides, super helpful.
Yeah, yeah, those are good. They actually had real tips, not just the same old things.
Yeah.
Like, one thing they mentioned was tailoring your CV.
Oh yeah, for each job.
Yeah, for each job. Don't just use the same one for everything. You got to show them, like, what you got that they need.
So they know you're serious.
Exactly.
But how do you know what they're looking for? Like, am I supposed to read every single job description?
Well, RoleCatcher has this AI thing.
AI.
Yeah, you upload your CV, right, and they, like, analyze it. But they analyze it next to the job description, too, and then they'll tell you what you need to change.
That's cool.
Like, is there a better way to say something? Did you forget to mention something? That kind of thing.
It's like they're reading it for you, but better.
Pretty much, yeah. Plus, if you want, RoleCatcher will actually send your stuff to employers.
Really?
If they're, looking for someone like you.
That's awesome.
They do the work for you. But even if, after all this, maybe being a pipeline maintenance worker isn't for you,
Yeah.
it's still good stuff to know. A lot of these skills, they work for other jobs too.
True, true. It's always good to learn new stuff. So, like, what else could you do with all this?
Let's see, RoleCatcher mentioned a bunch.
Okay.
Pipe welding, if you like the building stuff. Or like pipeline inspection, that's problem solving. Oh,
Okay.
or even safety management.
So many options.
Or water network operative, that has to do with the environment.
Right, right. Keeps the water flowing.
Exactly.
It's really about the energy sector, huh?
Yeah.
Like, all of it ties back to that somehow.
In a way, yeah.
And that's a good place to wrap up, I think. We've covered a lot about what it means to work on pipelines, but things are changing fast, so who knows what the future holds. What about renewable energy? Where does that fit in? Something to think about, right? Whatever you're interested in, do your research and see where it takes you.